Hey there, in this demo, I'm going to show you the different ways you can collect payments using the RegFox system. I'm going to show you three things. The first is pre-registration with card on file, which I'll explain in a second. I'll show you deposit payments or payment plans, and then I'll show you offline payments, which is used for people to register and then send in a check. So I'm going to show you all three of those, and the first one's going to be pre-registration with card on file. Now, we built this as our solution to help people resume their events during the pandemic, because with COVID, what was happening is event organizers didn't want to go on sale for their event because they didn't know if they could be at full capacity or partial capacity, and then attendees didn't want to put their money at risk, hoping that maybe they might get refunded should the event get canceled. And so this feature allows you to allow people to register, but instead of getting a full charge on their card, they put their card on file. And then when you decide that your event can proceed, you can either mass charge all the cards or just some of them. Now, I'm showing this to you also for the reasons that you can screen people for your event. So this has feature use beyond just COVID. It's also helpful for people who might have applications and a process where they're going to charge other people. So let me show you that one first, and then I'll get into the payment plans and the offline payments. So to enable pre-registration with card on file, we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page I built here. Again, if you haven't seen this demo, how I built this beautiful, amazing registration page, go check out that demo. And I'm going to go down to the billing area here. And I'm going to put my mouse over the payment method, and I'm going to hit edit. And this is going to open up a window. And I see that credit cards enabled. I also see allow pre-registration. I see offline payments. So these are the fields we're going to interact with in this demo. I'm going to turn pre-registration on, and I'm going to turn credit card off. Now, you could do both. You could allow the registration paths and flows to either allow people to be charged in full now, or they could put a card on file. And we've seen that where people might get a discount by putting their full card details and get charged full now versus the promise to pay later. So I'm going to show you this with just pre-registration on file, but just know that you can use both of those on there. So I have that enabled, and then under settings, I now have a new option called pre-registration. So I go up here and I can see that pre-registration's on, and I am instructed here of how this works. So the first thing is you want to be able to message this to your attendees to let them know that they will not be charged, but their spot is going to be reserved and that they will be charged in the future. So you can message this when they select it, just so that there's no confusion with your attendees. And also on the confirmation page, you have the ability to customize the language. And we put some default language in here for you just to help you get started that says, registration is complete. Your card has not been charged. This is a confirmation that you're pre-registered, and your registration will be finalized when your full payment has been processed. So customize this to your heart's content. Again, you also can customize the label that was on there, and you can change that from pre-registered to anything you want here. You know, put a card on file. It can be reservation. It can be anything you want. So when I do this, now the page is going to capture the credit card information. It's going to tokenize it. It's going to save it, and then it'll allow you to mass charge all the attendees later. So let me show you that experience end to end. So I'm going to hit save and then publish. I'm going to hit view published page, and I'm going to go and fill out this registration page. Okay, I'm down here, and now I can copy my information here, and I can put in a credit card. And again, I have this tied to tester gateway, which allows me to practice this back and forth. Put in credit card details here. All right, and we see our message here. Your card will not be charged. This is a pre-registration to reserve your spot, so on and so forth. I can submit. And here we have our confirmation. So I see that your pre-registration is complete. Our nice little alert banner here. We can see our registration information here. We can see our QR code. And then we see the payment summary information here as well. So this registrant is now reserved their spot. The inventory has been reserved. The confirmation emails have gone out. And so you can now go on sale. And we've tested the card that it's going to be valid, because when they put their card in there, we actually do a $1 pre-auth that falls off their card statement within 24 hours. So we know the card is good. So I'll talk about our loss mitigation processes if someone has a declined card in the future, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is what the registration experience is. As you can tell, it's just as if someone registered with a full payment. So super awesome. So if I go up here, I'm going to close this and let's go back out and let's go back to our registrations. I see here on my summary, I see I have $0 in revenue, but I can see now there is $2,432 for pre-registrations. If I go into the analytics here, I actually can see how many registrants I have, and I can see that I have $2,300 or so worth of registration fees that I can collect at any given time that I want. So when I want to charge those registrants, I go to registrations here. And from here, I can see all of our registrants and I can see all the individuals who are pre-registered. I can see my fully completed registrants below. And so here I have a handful of people who are pre-registered, meaning that they have their spot secured, but they're waiting to be charged. Now, one of the really neat things about this is that if Jack Bauer calls, I can go and edit him if I want. I can upgrade him. Let's say I want to upgrade Jack Bauer to a registration option, and I'm going to do a new title there since that's a requirement of that option. I can save him. I can upgrade him. I can do all of the management, all the upgrades and downgrades I want with pre-registration. And then when you go to charge him at the time that you want, it all will work. So you're not even locked in for pre-registration if you need to make changes. So we have all of them here, and I can just go over to pre-registrations here, and I see a filtered list of all the people who are waiting to be converted into final orders. And if I want to just complete one at a time, let's say I can have 2 people, I can complete the 2 selected individuals. If I want to screen this and just click, convert one person at a time, I also can just click this button here and say yes. And so we go and pull up their credit card on file, and then we charge it and we ratify them from a pending registration to a completed registration. And so if I want to mass select all these individuals, I click all of them and then hit complete selected, and then it'll tell me that I'll get an email summary of all of the charges. So I hit yes. Now, the reason we do that is we want to show you those who have been charged and also alert you to anybody who might have declined. And if a registration gets declined, we will send an email to the attendee, letting them know that their card is declined, and they'll have a single link to replace the card on file, and they can remediate that themselves. You also, likewise, in your summary, will be able to open up the payment link for any of these registrants and replace their card on file if they want to call you as well. So really powerful, exceptionally useful for people who are either screening candidates, screen registrants, or anybody who's kind of in limbo with their event, not sure if they can open their event with the pandemic, maybe some city restrictions, some capacity limits. So this is an amazing feature that allows you to control inventory, but also de-risk yourself and de-risk your attendees. With this feature, you never have to worry about mass cancellations or mass refunds again. So super awesome. So if I go back to my pages, I can see here that I have my registrations have all been converted. I have my $2,697. And so I've ratified that money now into full orders. So let's switch gears now and now talk about payment plans. I'm going to use this same exact event and I'm going to go and change it. So let's go down here and let's go enable the credit card field option again. Turn that one off. We'll turn pre-registration off. And let's talk about payment plans. So payment plans are a feature that's built into registration options. If you want to allow people to make a deposit up front and then capture final balance in the future, this is the field. So I'm going to hit edit here. And so on here, you see on any of these registration levels, you can enable deposits. So I can enable this deposit, and the system is going to ask, okay, do you want to accept a percentage up front, or do you want to capture a flat dollar amount? So you might say, register for $50, and then the balance charge will be collected the week before the event. So I can say, automatically charge this card on September 30th. So this is a really powerful feature for you to allow people to register for a smaller amount, and then the system will automatically capture the full amount later. So let's see how this looks on the registration page itself. So I can hit view published, go down here. I'm going to choose the corporate registration options, and I see I'm given 2 options. I can make a full payment or I can do a deposit payment. I choose $50 and it tells me the remaining balance will automatically be charged on September 30. And then down in the billing area, around the summaries, it tells me what is due today and then what is due in the future. So it's really nice and easy for everyone to understand. So that is how it's going to show on the registration page for your attendees. Let me now register as an attendee, and I'll show you how you actually can modify the amount that they owe in the middle of the process. All right, so Homer's here. He has made a deposit selection on his registration. $91 due today, $450 due in the future. I hit submit. And here's my confirmation page. I see that I've made my partial payment. Your registration is pending until your full amount has been received. And then when we have collected the full amount, he'll get a brand new email confirmation letting him know that he's set. So let's now go look at what the data shows. So I'm going to close this, go back out. We're going to go back to our dashboard here. All right, let's go to registrations. And we see Homer Simpson. It says pending final payment, which basically means that his registration is reserved, but it's not completed. It's pending until his final payment is received. And so the system is automatically going to charge his card on file at that given time. But let's say that you want to help him make a progress payment or plan, or maybe you want to give him a credit. RegFox is used for a lot of camps, a lot of student retreats, a lot of uses where maybe there's younger people and they are applying for scholarships and they need credits and things. So you can manage all of that really easily. So the first thing would be add a payment. And so the first option here is we're going to charge a payment on the existing card. Maybe Homer calls and says, hey, I want to add another $100 on my registration. No problem. We'll say Homer called and we'll add a payment. And so now his balance has that's remaining has decreased and his balance paid has increased. And we see down here, we see his $116 up front, the $100 just now. And so if someone calls and maybe they want to add a different card on file, you can put a grandparent or you can put a friend or somebody else on here. Really easy. You also could record an offline payment. Maybe grandma sent in a check. And so you could offset their balance and record a check or some other transaction that happened offline as well. You also can apply credit. If you just want to reduce their balance, it'll show you the outstanding balance and you can say, we're going to offset it by $200. And so this might be a scholarship. So we can type in scholarship and apply credit. And so now his balance again is reduced. The outstanding balance is $150. Let's go and complete him one more time. We'll do $150 on the existing card. We'll call it final payment, add payment, success. And now Homer's status has changed from pending final payment to completed. So that is fantastic. We see him here, his registration is completed, and now he will scan appropriately in for check-in if he presents his QR code. And if not, the system will let you know that he still has a balance that is still outstanding. So that is how people can use payment plans. In a separate demo, I'll show you how to use a feature called Magic Link Payments, which is where your registrant can actually get a link that they can share on social media with friends, with family, and different people can make payments towards their balance. All right, and now the final feature I want to show you is using offline payments. So let's go back up to our page. Let's go and edit our page here. And let's go down and let's add offline payments as an option. So the most popular way to use this is for people who want to send a check. And so by default, it'll have offline label, and we could say, send in a check. And below here, we can give the payment instructions. All right, please send checks to 123 Main Street. Sounds good. And so now that'll be an option here on the payment methods. Now you could use actions to hide or show this option. It doesn't have to be available for everybody. So you can use the power of our conditional logic or actions to make this an option or to remove it when other selections are made. So let's see what the experience is like for the attendee when they choose that. So I'm gonna hit save, we'll hit publish, and let's view the registration page. Here's our registration page. I'm going to fill this out again, and I'll show you the registration experience with offline payments. Okay, so we're down here at the payment information. I can copy Pam's information here, and I have the choice here to pay by credit card, or I can choose send in a check. and we get our instructions here. Please send checks to 123 Main Street, Sacramento. And so I now can hit submit. Here we go, and Pam is registered, and we have a notice here that her registration is pending until her full payment has been received. So we have payment instructions down here. Please send checks to this location. And this works great for individuals who have corporate registrations or high ticket registrations that are maybe part of a group registration, and they want to give this to their company to send in a check. This works great. So there we go. So let's close this out and let's go look at the data. Close that, go back to our dashboard, go to registrations. And here we have Pam Beasley, and it says pending offline payment. So when we showed the payment plans as pending final payment, which means that they were on a kind of payment plan or had a deposit payment. So pending offline payment here, we can go and view the registration record. And so we can see that Pam has registered. We see her details here. We see the registrations, and then we also see there's a linked transaction for pending offline. If I go here and I click details, I can look at the payment instructions that were given to her. I can see all the information here. And then if they sent in that check, I can mark this as complete. So I hit complete, and it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to update the transaction status? And I can say, yep, we're going to complete it. Or if there's something that maybe happened, you can void it if you want, or for whatever reason. But I'm going to complete it here. Check number 1234. Sent in check for 301.60. And I can hit complete the transaction. And now she has been ratified and made in full and complete. We see a little note here that she sent in a check, and now her registration is completed. So you can use this to manage all of your outstanding customers who are needing to send in checks from corporate. However you want to use that, it's a great use. You can use this even for cash payments if you like. So under registrations here, let me just show you how you can see these across different uses. So across all of our registrations here, if I wanted to filter down to people who are using payment plans or offline payments, I just go there and I see the whole list. We also see pre-registrations that are here as well, and then wait list. So waitlist is a fantastic feature. I'll do a separate demo on that, but this is how flexible and how powerful RegFox is for you to be able to accept registrations of different types with different restrictions and options, and collecting the payments with RegFox is really easy. So thanks for watching this demo. I look forward to seeing you on another one.